I believe that art is the great communicator in the world, and I've always believed that good art creates empathy, and empathy leads to social change. After 2020 and everything that everyone's gone through, how do you have a festival without talking about what's happened, really? And so we tried to curate a series of conversations that looked at different aspects of what's going on around us and what we've all currently experienced.
It was a lot of work. I mean, not just for me, but for the volunteers who worked with me, you know, steadfastly throughout the whole process. They've been amazing. It was a little bit nerve-wracking when things were going up, just hoping that the work they'd done over the last sort of 6-7 weeks wouldn't be destroyed by the lifting of them. And there were a couple of sticky moments, but we've managed to sort of restore some of the things that got slightly damaged in the kind of raising up to the church roof. The idea of the atom and the small particle that causes so much destruction but also makes up the building block of life, and just the idea of people, animals, insects, birds forming patterns, some of them formal, some of them informal. So there was the formal circle and then the informal murmurations or cloud shapes. And just, yeah, really that people would think about that in their own way, and then when they move through the church into the chapel, which is the sort of quieter area, there's a film which we made, which was made by filmmaker Ian Dodds, just archive footage of people talking about the day the atom bomb dropped in Hiroshima.
The origin of the Cyrillic alphabet and Christianity is very much linked back in the 10th century. So we thought that wouldn't it be fantastic to find this sacred space in the city centre where this relationship will be highlighted in a very subtle, rather than kind of exposing it and shouting about it. Some of the most outstanding Bulgarian writers and poets were commissioned specifically to write for this project, and they happened to be inspired by some of the phonetics or the letters or the sounds that come with it.
He's just representing the difficulty of the artist in a siege situation of how to represent himself. We know that the Israeli authorities often pollute the land in Gaza and destroy the crops with flame. The little girl that appears in many of his photos is his niece. He uses her, I think, as a representation of innocence. The impact of this exhibition, like most of our exhibitions, is to let people know what's happening, to get a fuller understanding in Scotland of people who see his work, of what is happening in Gaza and in Palestine as a whole.
The Requiem is something which directly acknowledges the kind of pain and experience of the loss of loved ones during COVID, and we wanted to use a Requiem format, but we are talking slightly secular in a way, but everyone needs spiritual healing in some form.
I hope that there's a real disquiet in the Requiem. I don't think that we let people off the hook at the end. You know, we don't sort of go, oh well, let's thank goodness. You know, we've got over that, and then we can look to bright sunny skies coming up. We have to fight to even preserve what we had before the pandemic. You know, and how poor that actually was so rapidly exposed. I hope that, as well as helping people in the process of grieving, that we kind of encourage people to turn that grief and allow that anger to find its proper target, really.
I think when people come to our events, you know, they fall upon them sometimes. Well, particularly, you know, where we are in Princes Street, people are passing by and they pop in and they haven't got any real intention of coming to see an artistic piece. When they walk in, they somehow are affected by it, and they walk away with either a changed mind, a sense of hope, a sense of beauty. Most people walk away just going, ah, that was a moment in my day that actually I'll remember for a really long time.